Welcome back to NCC News. Sports time now. Still Phil Shaner is in, and Phil, the Winford-Walton situation kind of behind the SU basketball team now, and they're ready to move on.
You're right, Matt. They got to put it behind them because it's regular season right around the corner. Well, with Winford-Walton leaving Syracuse, Jim Boeheim now must find a new big man to fill the middle. Last night, SU's final exhibition game against Yugoslavia, the Orange started Elvira at center. Will he be the solution? I seriously doubt it. To the Carrier Dome we go. You know how it goes. We stand on our feet and clap until we make our first field goal. Todd Bergen gets it done right off the bat with the 18-footer. Now some freshman action for you. Eton Thomas, get to know his name with the stuff. And SU having no problem. The O-Zone, they won Otis Hill. We'll see Otis a little bit later on. Todd Bergen with the steal on the D and the dunk. TB with 17 points in the night. Jason Sapola with the alley here. And LaShawn Howard, another freshman, with the finish for SU. And Yanulis also gets in the action as he goes downtown for three. Now we see a little Otis Hill. You've been waiting for Otis. Here's the nice move, the power dunk. He had 11 points in the night as SU goes on to win it 69-41.
Jason played well again, and that's what we're going to need from him.
Coming up next.
Just, guide us to the way we have to win.
Tonight I thought we played great as a team. We started off a little slow, but we picked it up in the second half with our defensive intensity, and I feel we played, a pretty good game.
The Orangemen start their regular season play on Friday night at the Carrier Dome against Winthrop.
Who's that?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. The Orangemen play a team you might have heard of in their second game. They played a defending national champions, the Kentucky Wildcats. To show you the difference between the two teams, here's Winthrop's basketball media guide that we got in the mail right here. It is, let's see here, a 50-page pamphlet. Now, here's Kentucky's. This baby's a novel. 250-some pages in this one. Is Winthrop going to get the Orange ready for the Wildcats? Yeah, right. Syracuse basketball in the NBA, another SU reunion as the Knicks played in Orlando last night. However, former Georgetown Hoya star Patrick Ewing stole the show as Ewing became the 23rd player in NBA history to score 2,000 career points. And here it comes, a nice easy lay-in for Patrick Ewing off the glass. More Ewing a little bit later on in the fourth quarter. Patrick Ewing can do it from the inside and the outside. Here he goes downtown, three-pointer, nothing but net. Now SU reunion, Ronnie Cycli, with his new team, gets the points down low. He finished with 8. John Wallace had 4 as the Knicks go on to win the ball game. The red-hot Orangemen take their 7-game winning streak to the Vet this Saturday to face the 1-9 Temple Owls. Temple Owls have always been the joke of the Big East, but believe me, this Temple team is much better than their record. Hey, they played Miami tough for a half. Are they good enough to beat Syracuse? No way. Temple is led by quarterback Henry Barris, who could cause SU some troubles. Orangemen quarterback Donovan McNabb talked about quarterback.
Get the tape 2 years ago when we played in Veterans Stadium when Kevin Mason was the quarterback. Kevin came out extremely hot, threw the ball for some odd yards, and we thought the game was locked up. They came back. Henry Burris let them back. They scored touchdowns with punt returns and kickoff returns, and Henry Burris is throwing touchdown passes. Running backs are running in, so it's going to be a competitive game.
Syracuse and Temple, 12 o'clock in Philadelphia. When Lou Holtz announced that he was leaving Notre Dame at the end of the season yesterday, the first thing that came to my mind was Syracuse may be the last team Holtz will face. Think about SU and Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl. How great would that be, Matt? We could beat Lou Holtz, Syracuse could beat Lou Holtz, and he can go out maybe to the NFL.
Else. I'll tell you what, either Notre Dame or Penn State look to be the two teams that Syracuse might end up playing.
One of many concerns Coach Paul Pasqualoni has coming into this West Virginia game is the AstroTurf, the surface here at Mountaineer Field. Syracuse played here 2 years ago, and the players complained about not getting enough traction on the AstroTurf at Mountaineer Field. They were slipping and sliding all over the place. Now Syracuse has brought extra cleats to hopefully solve this problem. After Monday's Chiefs game, the fans tried to do everything they could to hold on to the memories of this 62-year-old ballpark by even ripping up the turf here at MacArthur Stadium and getting a cup full of soil from Big Mac. Next year, the Chiefs will play in a brand-new stadium behind me. Jim Kelly has been out the last 4 weeks for the Buffalo Bills with a pulled hamstring. He's scheduled to start today against the Dolphins. The question is Kelly ready? Collins is 2-0 as the backup quarterback with a win 3 weeks ago against the Cowboys and last week against Indianapolis. Kelly to get the start today against the Dolphins. 1 o'clock kickoff, Miami and Buffalo. This afternoon, the Syracuse Orangemen have the challenge of going against the top defense in the Big East, and they also have the challenge of the 12th man, if you will, the fans in the stands here at Mountaineer Field. They're known to be some of the rowdiest fans in the Big East.
Welcome back to NCC News. Phil Shaner, and now with sports. And Phil, Orangemen, just way too much for the Pitt Panthers today.
No question. Not much of a competition today was Pittsburgh. Johnny Majors talked about how bad his team was, and we found out just how bad they were today at the Carrier Dome. Well, if you really expected a close game today for the Orangemen, you listened way too close to Coach P this week. SU had no trouble with the Pittsburgh team, which ranks last in just about every category in the Big East. Syracuse dominates Pitt 55-7. What a special day it was for the special team, scoring 3 touchdowns, slamming the Panthers. Pick it up in the first quarter with SU up 3-0. Billy West with the fumble. This leads to the option. Donovan McNabb, the little pitch to Rob Conrad. SU up 10-0. Another Pitt turnover. Phil Nash picks off the pass to lead to another touchdown for SU as Rod Conrad goes in for the short touchdown run. SU up 17-0. Now here comes the special teams plays I talked about. Mike Brown comes up with the block right here. Phil Nash picks it up, runs it in for Nash's second touchdown of the season off of block punts. At the half, Syracuse led 24-7. Second half, Jim Turner. We question his ability as a wide receiver, but there is no questioning his ability as a track star. Give this guy a hole, and he is gone. A school record 100-yard touchdown return, 31-7. For Syracuse ahead. More special teams plays to show you. Scoring, Kevin Johnson goes 73 yards on the punt return for the touchdown. That is Johnson's first career touchdown, and he trips his way into the end zone. SU having no trouble today with Pittsburgh scoring 3 special teams touchdowns. What a great feeling for the Orangemen today at the Carrier Dome. The final score, Syracuse 55, Pittsburgh 7. Syracuse fans, did you cheer for the Hurricanes today in hopes that Miami could be unbeaten coming into the Dome in late November? Think about the possibilities. Don't think too long, though. The Battle of Florida, 6th-ranked Miami hosting number 3 Florida State. To the Orange Bowl we go. The Canes with 11-game home winning streak. This one was all Seminoles. Warwick Dunn runs for 163 yards on the day. Here's Dunn breaking one for 80 yards going down the sideline. Looked like he's jogging in there. FSU wins it 34-16. FSU unbeaten on the season, Miami's first loss of the year. To the scoreboard we go now as we see Boston College beating Cincinnati 24-17. Boston College now 3-3. Army, they win. They're 5-0. The Cadets, of course, come to the Dome November 16th. Virginia Tech with a win. And Cornell wins again, winning over Harvard 20-13. And Colgate over Towson State 35-10. To baseball now, the Yankees used some 2-out magic last night to top Baltimore and take a 2-1 lead in the American League Championship Series. The O's also lost their protest appeal of Game 1 of the series. Baseball's executive council denied the protest this afternoon, so the O's in need of a win tonight. To Camden Yards we go. We'll pick things up in the first. That's Bernie Williams going deep. The 5th playoff home run for Williams. Yankees up 2-0. More power as Paul O'Neill goes yard. 5-2 Yankees. Then the long ball hitting continues for New York. Darryl Strawberry comes up with his 2nd homer of the night. 2-run blast to put the Yankees up 8-4. Now the O's with the bases loaded for Brady Anderson, the man that hits tons of home runs this year. And Rivera sits him down as he swings at the high fastball. The final, New York 8, Baltimore 4. Yankees lead the series 3-1. Game 5 tomorrow. To St. Louis, Busch Stadium, Game 3, Braves and the Cardinals. Bottom of the first, Ron Gant show. Here's his first 2-run homer. Puts St. Louis ahead 2-1. Then Gant again in the 6th, the solo shot. Puts this one in the bush at Busch Stadium. 3-1. The final 3-2. The Cardinals win it. Cards lead the series 2-1. Game 4 tomorrow night. The Orangemen now have this 2 weeks off, a week of preparation for Boston College. This is their first game that's outdoors on the road, and now their meat of their schedule is coming up for Syracuse, BC in 2 weeks, then West Virginia. It's going to get tough now for the Orangemen.
Phil, big game for Syracuse Orangemen today.
It is a big game in the Big East, and you know, a lot of questions were answered today about the Orangemen. On the road against a ranked opponent, which has one of the top defenses in the country, Syracuse showed the nation today they belong among the elite in college football. To Mountaineer Field we go in Morgantown, West Virginia. Harvey Pennypacker getting the start at center despite facing misdemeanor assault charges here at home. Early first quarter now, Dion Maddox takes the punt on his own 28. Watch the move he puts on number 42, Canute Curtis. Canute gets the boot. Maddox goes down the sideline, 72 yards for the score. SU led it early, 7-0. More special team play. Phil Nash should get a lot of cash for the way he plays on special teams. Blocks not 1, but 2 West Virginia punts from Brian West. Syracuse capitalizes on this with Donovan McNabb looking for his roommate, finds him. Darrell Daniel, his first touchdown of his career, and then Kyle McIntosh gets into the end zone for the first time this season. The route was on. The Orangemen led it 30-0 before the Mountaineers scored with 13 seconds remaining. SU wins at 30-7. They play next week at Tulane. They're on a 5-game winning streak, and how about that SU defense?
You know, we just executed. You know, we've been running this all year. You know, today we was all wound up. You know, we wanted to go beat them because they was talking about West Virginia had the #1 defense in the conference. But, you know, we showed today who had the #1 defense in the conference.
I'm pretty impressed with the guys in secondary. Kevin Abrams, Mike Jackson, Phil Nash, Donovan Darius. Keith Bullock stepped in for Anthony Walker, who was injured. And, you know, he stepped up his game, and I'm just proud of everybody in the secondary. They did a good job.
With West Virginia down, only 2 more Big East teams to go. In 3 weeks, it's Temple on the road, and then the showdown with Miami on Thanksgiving weekend at the Carrier Dome. For a scouting report, let's go to the vet in Philadelphia. Temple's head coach Ron Dickerson may want to rethink the decision of staying on as coach. Miami in town today. Going for the field goal is Temple and special teams guy Jermaine Mack with the block. Earl Little picks it up, rolls down the sideline, 74 yards. It was close early, but Miami ends up dominating the second half, winning 57-26. We'll check some other Big East scores. Virginia Tech a winner, 47-16. Local schools now, Brown over Cornell. Cortland State and a dandy over Springfield, 33-30 in overtime. And Ithaca tops Hobart. Now to college football stars of the future. Section 3 high school football semifinals at the Carrier Domes. Teams looking to make it to championship Saturday next weekend. We start our look at Class AA RFA versus Central Square. First quarter, 7-0 Knights up. Rocky Corigliano hits Robert Bethworth for an RFA score. 14-0, the Knights were up. Rome Free Academy can play some great defense. Here's an example. Dave Engel gets stuffed here by Alan DeFazio, fighting through the line to make the tackle for a loss of yardage. More offense. Quarterback Corigliano hits Brian Gose for the touchdown as Rome Free Academy goes on to win it. 41-14, they advance to championship Saturday. Now Class C semifinal matchup between CBA and General Brown. Second quarter action, 7-6 CBA with the lead. Brandon Duck looking for his favorite target, the tight end Mike Masciucci. 14-6 CBA with the lead. Second half action now, CBA in control in the second half. Brandon Duck back to pass, finds Jeff Seeger at the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, CBA. They win at 35-14, waiting for opponent for next week. Who will it be? Let's find out. The other Class C semifinal game, Cazenovia versus Dollisville, who has won 15 straight Section 3 titles. Both teams undefeated coming in. Mike Johnson going to Sean O'Hara, the corner of the end zone. Kaz up 7-6. Then Johnson before the half finds O'Hara again, 12-7. Cazenovia with the lead going into the locker room. It was all Cazenovia in the second half. Quarterback Mike Johnson likes to run 2 rushing touchdowns. Here's one of them, 25-7. Kazi to play CBA in the Class C championship next week at the Carrier Dome. At one other game to throw your way, Class D semifinal, Hamilton beats New York Mills 13-6. It's hockey night in Syracuse. The Crunch at the War Memorial, skating against Adirondack. To the War Memorial we go. First period, no score until John Nemustakov scores his second of the season. Crunch up 1-0. Red Wings up 2-1 until Rick Girard tied the game, netting his 6th goal of the year. Bohannes with his 2nd assist of the night. All tied up 4-4 in the third. Red Wings get a goal to go up 5-4 with 11:34 left. Larry Corville will get his final goal with the Crunch. Corville, of course, has been promoted to Vancouver. He'll leave to go up to the big leagues after the ball game. It ended up a 5-5 tie in overtime with the Crunch and Adirondack. Well, you know the slogan, I love this game. Now, how can you say that in Japanese? The NBA wants to find out. The Nets and the Magic playing in the Tokyo Dome. And yes, those fans even know that darn dance, the Macarena. And there it is. I'm sick of seeing it. And here's how you say, I love that game in Japanese. It's got to be there somewhere. Kendall Gill with the steal for the Nets and the stuff. New Jersey had an early lead, but ex-Syracuse star Ronnie Cycli gets involved in his first Magic appearance since being traded from the Warriors. Nice move and nice hair by Cycli. Then Cycli, nice move on the baseline with the reverse dunk. And Orlando goes away to win it 108-95. The Magic victorious in Tokyo. So the SU Orangemen with a Big East win. They have Tulane next week in New Orleans. And then they have 2 games remaining left in the Big East, and that's Temple and, of course, the big one at the Carrier Dome at the end of the season, Miami.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, with Syracuse must roll with these two wins before they get to the Miami game for it to mean anything, correct?
No question about it. They must win all the way through, and then, of course, the last game against the Thanksgiving against Miami.
Well, thank you very much, Phil.
Welcome back to NCC News. Phil Shaner in with our NCC Sports. And Phil, West Virginia in town tonight. Big game at the Dome.
Well, you think the Orangemen would come back and win this ball game tonight against West Virginia. That's not the case. What's wrong with the Orangemen? The loss in Alaska to Kentucky was somewhat expected, but what happened tonight to SU was not. The Orangemen blown out in their Big East home opener to West Virginia. That's right, the Orangemen having a tough time as the Orange is on hand as we get some of the highlights rolling to you now. Otis Hill, he plays up big for Syracuse as he gets the pass and in for the dunk. He had 19 on the night, but that was about it for Syracuse. It was the Gordon Malone show. As he gets it done with the dunk, you'll hear more from Malone. As Malone comes down here and cleans up the glass, can do it offensively, gets the rebound and puts it back in. Malone with a big night for West Virginia. Syracuse continued to turn over the basketball tonight. Too many mistakes. This one by Jason Hart. The steal made by Pledger. He goes in to lay it in as West Virginia goes on to roll on as they have another steal here by Damian Owens. And West Virginia had 13 steals tonight as they go on to win it big, 101-79. SU now 3-2 and 0-1 in Big East play.
You know, other guys might have been passive, myself because of my foul trouble, and other guys were there. He was keeping everybody in the game. So I think just a few of the freshmen might need a talking to here and there, but Jason was really ready tonight.
I mean, I think this boosts his confidence up. You know, he had a lot of points tonight, and he just needs, you know, to keep playing the way he's playing. He's been playing really well last week, and he's contributed in passing and getting 5 people open. And if he does that, we'll be fine.
Orangemen players talking about the play of freshman Jason Hart, who was the only one to play pretty well. With the Orangemen having some problems, let us take a look at some of the other teams in the Big East and how they are doing in the early part of the season. We'll start with a conference matchup between Georgetown and Seton Hall. Big John Thompson there rolling the sidelines for Georgetown. They get it done early as Payton dishes off to Jordan for the slam. 15-all, tied up, pretty close game at this point. But then here comes the Hoyas as Jahidi White, the big fella, gets it down as Seton Hall loses to Georgetown 55-51. Now we'll take a look at UConn, see how they're doing in the early part of the season. Ricky Moore with a quick move to the hole and in. Now Kevin Freeman with the power dunk as UConn has no trouble winning that ball game. Notre Dame in Indiana, Pat Garrity nails the three-pointer. Close game in this one. Patterson for Indiana puts the Hoosiers ahead 77-75. Last chance to try to pull the upset for Notre Dame. Three-point shot, no good. Notre Dame loses it 77-75. Checking some other scores from around the region in local college basketball. Cornell a winner, 90-39. High school basketball, Skinny Atlas 72, Salve 43. Nothing beats a nice reunion of friends around the holidays. The NBA hosted one for Georgetown University last night as Patrick Ewing and the Knicks faced Alonzo Mourning and the Heat. To MSG we go. John Wallace sitting on the bench. He was there most of the game. Sasha Danilovic for three. What a big night for Sasha. Unbelievable from downtown, 7-7 from the three-point land. Alonzo Mourning with the stuff right over Patrick Ewing. The Heat win it 99-75. A little Thursday night football. Former SU star Marvin Harrison helped Indianapolis boost their playoff hopes by destroying the Eagles tonight 37-10. To the RCA Dome we go. Ricky Waters gets the pass from Ty Detmer, and Waters takes a little knock on the head as he gets a knee right there. Waters out for the rest of the game with a concussion. Then the interception. Detmer gets it picked off by Jason Belzer, and he's off to the races for an Indianapolis touchdown. It was all Colts tonight. And there's Marvelous Marvin with the touchdown, and the Colts go on to win it 37-10. It's always a big night in Syracuse when the superstars of the World Wrestling Federation come to town. Plenty of body slams, suplexes, and armbar takedowns. That's my favorite. Now remember, kids, this is not real. As Vince McMahon says, it's just sports entertainment. It's Defunct going against the Hockey Goon, and the Defunct patent move, the suplex real nice down to the mat, and then he brings on the noise with the reverse and gets the pin over the Goon. And now, Wild Man Mark Merrow from Liverpool, New York. The Wild Man move off the ropes to beat Hunter Hearst Helmsley. So there you have it tonight at the War Memorial. Great WWF action. And whenever I see wrestling action, as a kid, I just have the urge to maybe bring on a move, do a couple of moves like that, and that's what I get out of it, wrestling.
Phil, are you looking for another job or what?
I'd love to get in the ring. It'd be a great thing.
Thanks a lot, Phil. We'll be right back. Terry Penoyer had your NCC weather.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Phil Schinner with Sports Tonight. We'll start with more troubles for SU athletes off the field. 9 Sports has learned Orange true freshman linebacker Dennis McCormick was arrested and charged with second-degree assault. Redshirt freshman Keith Bolick was also involved. The victim, Gary Grant, has 100 stitches in his face after being hit by a beer bottle. McCormick turned himself into police. Court appearance is scheduled for Tuesday. Well, the Orange basketball team goes after another Carrier Classic championship tonight, the 20th anniversary title game against Eastern Michigan. Syracuse winners of 17 of the previous 19 classics. The only loss, if you remember, coming in 1980 to Maryland and 1991 to St. Joe's. Eastern Michigan riding high after last night's buzzer beater win over Old Dominion. The Eagles soaring into tonight's game against Syracuse, sporting an unbeaten record.
Eastern Michigan is a very, very good team. They beat a very good Old Dominion team, and I think we have to step up our play from tonight, because if we play the way we did tonight, we could get blown off the court.
I feel that we didn't play that well, and we just other things that we have to do still, again, on loose balls and, little tight situations like that. But we have a good match coming up. They're a very good team, and we'll see then. We'll see what we're made of.
One big positive for the Orangemen right now, the emergence of freshman Etan Thomas.
Well, definitely it's helped my confidence a lot, because, I know that coach expects a lot out of me, so I have to play harder. I have a lot of things I have to improve on. I like blocking shots. Everybody knows I like blocking shots, and so, that's a given. I just have to work harder on the other end.
Thomas and the Orangemen take on the Eagles of Eastern Michigan tonight at the Carrier Dome, 8 o'clock. All the highlights and more coming up at 11. College hoops today, 4th-ranked Villanova hosting Coach K and his number 14th Duke squad. This one all Blue Devils, second half off the inbounds. Legend buries the jumper and draws the foul. The Alaskan native leads Duke with 19 points on the afternoon, a big game for him. Then the Devils get it going on the fast break. Ricky Price to Jeff Capel lays it in on a nice layup and a foul. The Devils go on to hand Villanova its first loss of the season, 87-79. AHL hockey here in Syracuse tonight. The Crunch hoping to snap a 3-game losing streak as they face off with the last place Providence Bruins. It's close but no cigar for the Crunch last night in Rochester. Syracuse, Crunch trying to get it going in the lighter jerseys, pressing in Rochester's end, middle of the final period. Rochester pulls ahead to stay, even jarring the goal loose here, which stopped play for a while. And Coach McElharkey trying to find a way to get his team a win, taking down some notes, if you will. Both teams scoreless in the first. Each team scored twice in the second. And then the mid-third period goal makes the difference. Rochester wins it 3-2 against Syracuse. Third straight loss. Face-off tonight, 7:30 at the War Memorial. Now to the NFL, Saturday game today, Week 16 beginning. The Philadelphia Eagles, who are battling for an NFC playoff spot with a big game, squared off against the hapless New York Jets. Late first period, Jets from the Eagles 48. It's 2nd and 10, and the Jets go to some flea flicker magic here, trying to get it done. Glenn Foley goes deep to the rookie, Keyshawn Johnson. Watch him get open for the pass on the free flicker, and he stumbles his way into the end zone. The Jets led it 7-0, and a field goal made it 10-0 at halftime. But then the Eagles come back in the second half. Ty Detmer getting it done. Back to pass, looking for Irving Fryer in the end zone. That made it 20-20. And then it was time for SU soccer and football kicker, one-time kicker Gary Anderson for the point after. That made the difference. The Eagles go on to win the ball game after intercepting the pass. The Jets cannot get it done. A good day today for Coach Rose, winning 21-20. NBA, fun in the sun down in South Florida. Miami trying to stay hot against Toronto. The Raptors make this one a ball game. Damon Stoudemire shows off his downtown range. Coach Pat Riley and company come back. They go inside. This is Tim Hardaway hits Austin for the slam. And then the big man from Miami today, former Georgetown star Alonzo Mourning with the finish. He had 26 points tonight. The Heat leave it up to their nickname by winning tonight. They won 13 out of their last 14, winning 89-88. Sports elsewhere tonight, Lemoyne's basketball tips off tonight at 7:30. The Dolphins are at home against non-conference opponent Cheney. And watch out for flying walkie-talkies tonight in Atlantic City. Why? Heavyweight boxing, Riddick Bowe against Andrew Galata. They go at it later. And last time they met, big fight right before the fight. So we'll have to watch to see what happens tonight. That's it in sports.